Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ultra Monster 500 series number 2, Gomora. First appearing in Ultraman in 1966, and he debuted in episodes 26 and 27, The Monster Highness Parts 1 and 2. And Gomorrah, he's interesting for a couple of reasons, actually. For starters, he's actually the very first, monster to actually beat Ultraman in a fight. Now, not beat him in a similar way when Zedon defeated Ultraman, but in a sense that Ultraman pretty much lost the fight, and then Gomorrah managed to escape, and then of course, Ultraman, the Science Patrol, got to get the job done in the second part. And basically, the whole idea of of the episode, basically started with this scientist, this guy named Professor Nakaya. Look, I swear, I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I'm not, honestly, that's not me being funny. I generally try. So I do apologize for butchering your beautiful language, Japan. But basically, he discovers Gomorrah, oddly, and he wants to display the creature to the world's exposition. And yeah, sure, what could go wrong? Yeah, it's not like Gomorrah's gonna go off and pretty much destroy the place or anything like that. So yeah, basically, it's someone being stupid and not really thinking about the consequences, considering that this is literally episodes 26. But whatever, you get the point. Gomorrah, he's definitely one of the more brooding kaijus. Just judging by like his look, you could tell that he's a very kind of like not just menacing, but he's like I don't know, he's like bulky, and it's like I mean, obviously, of course. I mean, he's a dinosaur. What do you expect? And yeah, he is. He's from some sort of ancient species known as the Gomorosaurus. So, to make a long story short, if you ever wonder why he dies and then all of a sudden he comes back, well, technically there's a whole species of him. In fact, Gomorrah wouldn't make a return until Ultraman 80. Also known as Gomorrah 2, basically. And for some odd reason, he can like shoot stuff from his fingers. Well, not this version, but that version. Obviously he's a pretty popular character. I mean, there's nothing else I can really, I can really say with that. Obviously, I mean, he's a classic. What do you expect? But he actually did recently appear in Ultraman Decker as Spear Gomorrah. So that's it's pretty interesting. It's good to see that. And now let's take a look at the tag. Now, of course, as you can see, this is a picture straight from the episode, and this is number 2. Yes, I know, I know, guys, I've mentioned it before. When Bandai makes these figures, they just love to do these out of order. I mean, and you see, I got Bolton's tag, and you can see that it's number 1. So, alright, oh well, what else? And of course, I already reviewed Bolton, so if you would like to take a look at a review of him, he's in my playlist of both my toy reviews and my Ultra series toy line. So yeah, let's get right to the figure. I'm gonna lift my camera up and let's zoom in right on his details, because for sure it is a lot of compliments. If my camera could there, yes, look how gorgeous he looks. It looks, well, as always, for a vinyl figure, obviously, it's nice to see, all the detailing and all the roughness, especially from the chest. I love that so much, especially with the paint job, with the kind of blackish color. Well, from the camera, it looks like black, but it's more of a darker brown. I know it's really hard to tell, listen. I don't got the best production in the world, but hey, you could, you can see them tippy toes. His toes are nicely painted, so are his fingers, so that's good. And you can see the wrinkles, of course, from his skin, which is cool. Like I say, a little bit reminiscent of, like, when it's obviously an actor inside of a suit. And of course, got this little snarling face. I mean, it looks like he got a bit of a snarl going on. I mean, that's pretty accurate. We got a little tooth right there. Oh, I never really realized that. He kind of got a little bit of a buck tooth in his little horn. That's funny. And we go. And then, sure, yeah, he does got a little spike on his elbow that's not painted. Same goes for this one. And yeah, and you can even see right there they're not painted, but it's not that much of a big deal, at least for me. And it's odd that they're not painted considering that the back is actually got like this nice little streak of brown going on. So okay, that's good to see. The back is painted, and trust me, you don't see that too much with Ultraman figures nowadays. Not that they're bad or anything like that. In fact, the Ultra toy line, whether it's the Hero or the Monster series, they both definitely have gone a lot better in their own ways. But obviously, there's always going to be some things that are not perfect. Like I will explain this. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Literally, I had to like kind of pre-record this video a couple of times because I can't help but feel like that the face, especially with the painting. Maybe it's just me. Call me crazy. I don't know. It has like a bit of a weird fade to it. It's like you could kind of see the red, but you can't really see it. It's one of those weird details where you can't really see it from far away. You have to kind of go up close to it. Same goes for his eyes. I don't know what it is because literally every time like I set my camera down and I want to record, and it's like I've noticed sometimes it kind of looks like the body is perfectly fine and you can see it, but his face, I don't know. Especially like right here for an example, you can see the nice wrinkles. You can see the color, the paint, but then like in his eyes, it's kind of blurry. And same goes for the redness here. You can't really see it too well. I don't know if that was intentional. I'm gonna have to say yes on that, only because everything else is perfectly fine. Obviously, with the toes and the fingers, you can see how the weird kind of whitish yellowish paint. I mean, it looks more like sand. Let's be honest here. That kind of weird effect, it kind of fades in, but obviously that's done on purpose. You could obviously because he burrows underground, so I love that. Close attention to detailing on all. And that's great. Like I say, it's definitely something you don't see too much with a lot of these figures, so I'm quite surprised that they actually did that. So kudos to Bandai for doing that. And of course, we go over the articulation, and Gomora has 4 points. He can move his head kind of like that. You can move it full 360 if you wanted to, of course, both of his arms can move. And actually, I take it back. He actually has 5, but you know what? I'm gonna explain something about that in a little bit. And of course, you got the tail that moves. Nice, perfect. Not too soft, not too hard. But we do gotta talk about the waist, because I feel like I should probably mention this. I wouldn't really count this too much as articulation, only because yeah, you could move it, but not by much. It's kind of hard, I can't really. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, like you see, I can't really move it, and I'm afraid if I do, I might end up popping something out. So I really don't want to do that. So when you get this figure, just don't do that. Don't try to move his waist or anything like that. And it's funny I mentioned that because most of the figures in the line, they have that feeling that yeah, you probably can move it from the waist, but you can't really do that. So figures like Red King, obviously he has that issue going on, and Zaragoza also has that as well. So not particularly a nitpick. I just thought I'd let you guys know just in case. I don't want you guys to end up ruining this figure because it's great. And yeah, the most common practice is he's not that tall, obviously. So that shouldn't be a surprise, obviously. But I think it's good to at least still mention it. So just to get a good idea. I mean, he's still cool looking. I can't really argue against it. I mean, what can I say? It's good, pretty good. All right. So before we end the video, let's compare it to some other kaiju's. But we're not just gonna just throw a whole bunch of figures in there. No, let's compare them to all the kaiju's that are brown. Basically, I reviewed Bemular already. You see how you got that kind of dark brown kind of going on. So here he is. And then of course there's Zaragoza, as I mentioned. Here we go. That's gonna be a that's gonna be a very very interesting review. And last but not least, here's a bit of a shocker. Ooh yeah, look, it's oops, get out of here. Yeah, it's Skull Gomora. Yeah, He's not even from the originals. He's from the current generation Ultraman. Well, not current. This version of Gomora appeared in Ultraman Guide. So, I just thought I kind of bring it out because unfortunately I only own these two Gomoras. I don't have any more, but I do plan on, definitely getting the rest. Even though Spear Gomora is extremely tiny, I still want them, because it looks nice looking for the most part. It looks cool considering that, you got the Spear Soldiers that give them like the weird kind of powers and whatever. So that's cool. Now, of course, the whole idea with Skull Gomorrah is that basically he's a combination of like with Belial and Red King. So, just thought I kind of mention that because it's going to be a pretty long time before I actually do a toy review of this guy because, I want to try and review these figures from like the originals to the Heisei era to the new generation to the Re-Raw era. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm kind of getting at there. Because there's 6 Gomoras so far in the toy line. There's this one, Mecha Gomora, Cyber Gomora, and yes, those are 2 different Gomoras. Then there's the Skull Gomora that I just mentioned. There's 2 versions. There's the basic one that I just showed you, and then there's the DX one that's like huge and ginormous, and it is so cool, but it's kind of expensive now. So if I'm ever to get my hands on it, I'll definitely review it. But until then, I cannot promise that because prices went up real fast. But if you want to get a regular Gomora, don't worry. I think he should be easy to find on Amazon or so. Even though I'm usually an eBay type person, for this situation, just like Red King, I think it's better if you just get them on Amazon. And if you want to get like the craziest characters like Spear Gomora and heck even Spear Red King and all that, even the Spear Soldiers too, I rather suggest eBay because I cannot find them anywhere on Amazon. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. So my final thoughts, my score, I'm gonna give him a 10 out of 10. Why not? To me it's good. I mean, it looks like the character. Painting and sculpting is really good. I mean, it's spot on for the most part, and especially with like the detailing, with the fingers and all. I think that's really cool. I mean, honestly, it does kind of remind me of Bolton a little bit because you see how he got like that kind of going on, and it's like, wow, wasn't expecting that. I mean, look at that. Remember that? Yeah. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed the toy review. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. I'm doing a lot of these tour reviews now, which is fantastic. I love that they're booming, and I love doing these too. So I don't plan on stopping. And I'm gonna continue doing my gameplay stuff, and then talking about random stuff in general. So yeah, uh, you know, yeah. So until then, see you guys in the next one. So peace out.